James Stacy was a Hollywood star who seemed to have it all: good looks, talent, and a promising career. Best known for his role as Johnny Madrid Lancer in Lancer, he became a familiar face on television throughout the 1960s and 70s. But behind the scenes, his life took a series of tragic turns that would ultimately lead to his downfall. From a devastating accident that changed his life forever to legal troubles that tarnished his legacy, Stacy's story is one of both triumph and heartbreak. Today we take a closer look at James Stacy's tragic downfall and death, his rise to fame, the tragedies that shaped his life, and the heartbreaking end to his journey. Stacy was born Maurice William Elias on December 23, 1936, in Los Angeles, California. His mother, a waitress of Ulster Scots descent, and his father, a Lebanese-American bookmaker, came from vastly different cultural backgrounds. Growing up in a diverse and bustling city like Los Angeles, Stacy was exposed to a blend of traditions, languages, and perspectives that would later influence his personality and career. His upbringing was shaped by the hard work and resilience of his mother, who navigated the challenges of raising a family while working in the service industry, and the entrepreneurial spirit of his father, who made a living in the high-stakes world of bookmaking. Stacy made his film debut in Sayonara, 1957, a critically acclaimed war romance starring Marlon Brando. Shortly after, he transitioned to television, making his first small-screen appearance in an episode of Highway Patrol. His big break came in 1958 when he was cast in the popular family sitcom The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. Over the next 5 years, he appeared in a recurring role as Fred, which helped establish him as a recognizable face in the entertainment industry. Throughout the 1960s, Stacy steadily built his television career, making guest appearances on some of the most popular shows of the era. He demonstrated his versatility by taking on roles in a variety of genres, from westerns to legal dramas. He appeared in 5 episodes of the long-running western Gunsmoke, as well as Hazel, The Donna Reed Show, Have Gun, Will Travel, and Combat. His performances on Perry Mason were particularly memorable. He played different characters in 2 episodes: The Case of the Simple Simon, 1964, and the series finale, The Case of the Final Fade-Out, 1966. These guest spots showcased his range as an actor and reinforced his reputation as a dependable television performer. Despite his extensive work in television, Stacy is best remembered for his role in the CBS Western Lancer, which aired from 1968 to 1970. He starred as Johnny Madrid Lancer, a former gunslinger with a rebellious streak who discovers he is the long-lost son of Murdoch Lancer, played by Andrew Duggan. The series also starred Wayne Maunder and Paul Brinegar and followed the complicated relationship between Murdoch and his 2 estranged sons, who returned to the family ranch under very different circumstances. Known for its gripping storytelling, intense action sequences, and well-developed characters, Lancer gained a devoted fan base and became one of Stacy's most iconic roles. In addition to his television success, Stacy appeared in numerous films throughout the 1950s, 1960s, and 1970s. One of his earliest film roles was a minor part in the Rodgers and Hammerstein musical South Pacific, 1958. While westerns became his signature genre on television, he took on a wide range of roles in Hollywood, proving his ability to adapt to different styles and characters. Whether playing a charming outlaw or a troubled hero, Stacy consistently brought depth and charisma to his performances. As his career progressed, he remained a familiar presence on both the big and small screens, solidifying his place in the golden era of classic television and Western dramas. On September 27, 1973, Stacy's life changed forever. He was riding his motorcycle through the Hollywood Hills with his girlfriend Claire Cox when an oncoming vehicle struck them. The driver, heavily intoxicated, lost control of the car and crashed into them with devastating force. Cox was killed instantly, while Stacy was left critically injured. The accident cost him his left arm and left leg, leaving him permanently disabled. In an instant, the rising actor's life and career were thrown into turmoil, forcing him to face a grueling path to recovery. The physical trauma was just one part of the ordeal. Stacy also endured deep emotional and psychological pain. Losing both a loved one and his independence in such a violent manner sent him into a state of shock and despair. The recovery process was grueling, requiring extensive surgeries, months of hospitalization, and painful rehabilitation to adjust to his new reality. Beyond the physical challenges, he had to navigate an uncertain future, questioning whether he would ever be able to return to acting, let alone regain a sense of normalcy. Amid this dark period, his ex-wife, actress and singer Connie Stevens, stepped in to support him. Understanding the financial burden of medical expenses and long-term rehabilitation, she took it upon herself to organize a high-profile celebrity fundraiser in 1974. The event, attended by some of Hollywood's biggest names, including Frank Sinatra and Barbra Streisand, raised an impressive $118,000, equivalent to approximately $752,000 today. The funds helped cover the cost of Stacy's ongoing medical care, rehabilitation, and prosthetics, giving him the resources he needed to begin rebuilding his life. But Stacy's fight for justice was far from over. Determined to hold those responsible accountable, he pursued legal action against the bar that had served alcohol to the drunk driver that night. His argument was clear. The establishment had been negligent in continuing to serve a patron who was clearly intoxicated, ultimately leading to a fatal accident. After a lengthy legal battle, Stacy was awarded a $1.9 million settlement in 1976, equivalent to about $10.5 million today. The ruling was a landmark case reinforcing the responsibility of businesses in preventing alcohol-related tragedies. Despite the overwhelming physical and emotional challenges he faced, Stacy refused to let the accident define him. Though he had lost much, he remained determined to reclaim his life and career. With unwavering resilience, he eventually returned to acting, proving that his spirit and passion for the craft were stronger than the obstacles before him. Following his recovery, Stacy was determined to rebuild his career, taking on roles that accommodated his disability while proving his enduring talent as an actor. His return to the big screen came in 1975 with the Kirk Douglas Western Posse, where he played Harold Hellman, a newspaper editor. Recognizing Stacy's perseverance and acting ability, Douglas had the role written specifically for him, allowing him to reestablish himself in Hollywood. The film was well received, marking a significant step forward in his comeback. 2 years later, Stacy landed what would become one of his most memorable roles in the 1977 television movie Just a Little Inconvenience. He portrayed a Vietnam War veteran who had lost both legs in combat, a character that paralleled his own real-life struggles. The role resonated with audiences and critics alike, earning him his first Primetime Emmy Award nomination for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Drama or Comedy Special. His performance was praised for its emotional depth and authenticity, proving that he could bring powerful storytelling to the screen despite his physical limitations. The film also helped break down barriers for actors with disabilities, as Stacy's nuanced portrayal challenged Hollywood's often narrow view of casting. In 1980, he expanded his career further by starring in and producing the television movie My Kidnapper, My Love, a thriller that allowed him to showcase his versatility. The film's screenplay, based on a novel by Oscar Saul, was adapted by his brother, Louis Elias, a veteran character actor and stuntman, to ensure that the story played to Stacy's strengths. Elias also served as the film's associate producer, making it a deeply personal project for both brothers. That same decade, Stacy took on a role in Disney's Something Wicked This Way Comes, 1983, playing Ed the bartender in the film adaptation of Ray Bradbury's dark fantasy novel. The film, though not a major box office hit, further demonstrated Stacy's ability to take on diverse and compelling roles. Throughout the 1980s, he continued working steadily in television, appearing in a variety of popular series. He took on guest roles in Hotel Cagney and Lacey and Highway to Heaven, proving that he could still deliver strong performances despite the challenges he faced. His guest appearance on Cagney and Lacey was particularly well received, earning him his second Primetime Emmy Award nomination for Outstanding Guest Performer in a Drama Series. Even as Hollywood evolved and opportunities became more limited for actors with disabilities, Stacy remained committed to his craft. His final television role came in 1990 when he portrayed Ed Rogoshevsky in 5 episodes of the crime drama Wise Guy. The role allowed him to showcase his talent one last time before stepping away from the spotlight. Stacy was married twice, both times, to women deeply immersed in Hollywood's entertainment world. His first marriage was to actress and singer Connie Stevens, a rising star known for her roles in television and film. The two tied the knot on October 12, 1963 in Hollywood, during a time when Stevens was gaining widespread recognition for her work in shows like Hawaiian Eye. Their relationship attracted media attention, as they were both young, successful, and part of the glamorous Hollywood scene. However, despite the initial excitement surrounding their union, their marriage was short-lived. After just 3 years together, they divorced in November 1966. Though the reasons behind their split were largely kept private, the pressures of their demanding careers likely played a role in their separation. Stacy's second marriage came in 1968 when he wed actress Kim Darby, best known for her role as Maddie Ross in True Grit, 1969. Unlike his first marriage, this relationship also moved quickly, but had the added responsibility of parenthood. The couple welcomed a daughter, Heather, soon after their wedding. However, their relationship soon became strained, and by 1969, just a year after they had married, they finalized their divorce. Though both of his marriages were brief, they connected him to some of Hollywood's most notable rising stars of the time. His relationships with Stevens and Darby reflected the fast-paced nature of the entertainment industry, where careers often took precedence over personal relationships. Despite the setbacks in his personal life, Stacy remained focused on his acting career, continuing to work steadily in film and television. In November 1995, Stacy pleaded no contest to molesting an 11-year-old girl, a crime that shattered his reputation and permanently tarnished his legacy. The charges were deeply disturbing, marking the complete downfall of an actor who had once been celebrated for his resilience and ability to overcome adversity. On December 7, 1995, the day of his scheduled sentencing at Ventura County Superior Court, Stacy failed to appear, triggering a manhunt. The next day, authorities tracked him to Honolulu, Hawaii, where he had been hospitalized after a failed suicide attempt. He had tried to take his own life by jumping off a cliff, but he survived the fall. Following his recovery, he waived extradition and was transported back to California to face the consequences of his actions. On March 5, 1996, Stacy was sentenced to 6 years in prison. The prosecuting attorney later revealed that he might have been eligible for probation if not for his post-arrest behavior and prior incidents. Just months before his conviction, in June 1995, he had been arrested twice for prowling outside the homes of young girls, further demonstrating a pattern of predatory behavior. Given the severity of the charges and his attempt to flee justice, the prosecution sought a harsher sentence, which the court ultimately imposed. Stacy was incarcerated at the California Institution for Men in Chino, California, where he served his time. His imprisonment marked the absolute collapse of his career. Once known as a determined actor who had defied the odds after a tragic accident, he was now remembered for his crimes. By the time he was released, any chance of redemption in the public eye had vanished, and he lived out the remainder of his life in disgrace. On September 9, 2016, Stacy passed away at the age of 79 in Ventura, California. His death was caused by anaphylactic shock, a severe and sudden allergic reaction triggered by an antibiotic injection he received at the office of Dr. Cedric Emery. Though he had survived immense hardships throughout his life, including a devastating motorcycle accident that left him permanently disabled, a career comeback against the odds, and later a highly publicized criminal conviction, his final moments were the result of an unforeseen medical emergency. Stacy's passing marked the end of a turbulent life filled with both triumph and tragedy. Once a beloved television actor known for his roles in westerns and classic dramas, he had spent his later years largely out of the public eye. His death was a stark reminder of how unpredictable life can be, and for those who had once admired him, it closed the final chapter on a life that had been defined by both resilience and controversy. Stacy was portrayed by Timothy Olyphant in Quentin Tarantino's 2019 film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which starred Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. The film, set in 1969, captured the fading golden era of Hollywood, portraying the transition from classic westerns and television serials to the grittier, more experimental films of the 1970s. Olyphant's role as Stacy was a tribute to the actor's legacy, particularly his work on the CBS Western Lancer, which is featured in the film. In Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Stacy is depicted filming an episode of Lancer, with Olyphant playing him opposite DiCaprio's character, Rick Dalton, a fictional fading TV star. The inclusion of Stacy's character serves as a reflection of real-life Hollywood actors during that time, performers who had built their careers in television westerns but were facing an industry in transition. Tarantino's meticulous attention to period detail and his decision to highlight Stacy's role in Lancer not only honored his contributions to television, but also underscored the nostalgic essence of the film. Tarantino provided modern audiences with a glimpse into the television culture of the late 1960s, showcasing the impact of actors like Stacy who helped define the Western genre. Olyphant's performance captured the charm and confidence that Stacy brought to his roles, offering a respectful nod to his place in entertainment history. James Stacy's life was marked by incredible highs and devastating lows. Though he faced unimaginable hardship, he continued to work in Hollywood, proving his resilience and talent. However, his later years were overshadowed by controversy and personal struggles. His story serves as both an inspiration and a cautionary tale about the unpredictable nature of fame and fortune. What are your thoughts on James Stacy's legacy? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.